left Mike and Regina's. Absolutely wonderful host. Regina bikes a lot, she's toured a lot, and she gave us a lot of really good, useful information for our trip. John and I are going to do another video about the trip based on the information we got from Regina. So you'll see that in an episode or two. But right now we're on the Bitterroot Trail, which is a bike path that will take us from Hamilton all the way into Missoula. So we'll be away from the cars. It's really the first big bike route or bike path that we've been on in a while. So we're really looking forward to just having some separation from the cars. It's basically flat, and Regina said we'd make some really good time on it, so real happy about that, and we'll talk at you later. Oh, we're in Victor. A little break from the traffic. You can kind of see the mountains in the background there with the cattle on the hill. The mountain range to the left is called the Bitterroot Mountains. We've been riding along the highway here on this bike path. It's 55 miles to get us into Missoula. It's been a headwind all morning long. So John and I made it to the Adventure Cycling Association's headquarters in Missoula. Gonna pick up a couple maps to finish the ride that I'm on, and we had some questions for the folks here. It's an absolutely neat place to visit. The staff here are fantastic, and took the time out of their schedule to sit down and talk with us. Really enjoyed our visit here at the Adventure Cycling Association, and kind of like I said to the folks, this is kind of like the mecca of the bike touring in the United States, and you almost have to stop by here. And it is one of those things that we looked forward to for the last week, was getting here and talking to the folks at Adventure Cycling. So yeah, we're here and happy to be a part of the organization. So we're at the Adventure Cycling Association headquarters in Missoula, Montana, and we're getting our bikes weighed. Actually, I thought I had weighed my bike and estimated my gear is to be around 80 pounds, and if you look very close, 80 pounds is very close to 103 pounds. Okay, so it's off just by a little bit. Again, we're just enjoying our afternoon here at the Adventure Cycling headquarters, having a good time with the folks that work here. It just takes the trip and puts it at another level when you can visit a place that has such a impact on what your cycling is all about. And adventure cycling is just that something that inspires people, inspired me, inspired John to do the stuff that we're doing. So thanks to those folks. Can't shout out enough on YouTube to them for all their help and assistance today. Our adventure just never ceases to amaze me. On the way to the Adventure Cycling Association, hello, we talked to a husband and wife riding bikes, and if they said if we ran into a pickle on a place to stay, to give them a call. And we're in a pickle, and so Kurt and his wife are giving us a place to stay tonight. So yeah, we're on the second floor of an apartment building in Missoula, getting set up for a place to stay. So yeah, all's good. So how did today end? Wow, what a story. When we got into Missoula and we were on our way to the Adventure Cycling Association, the path was pretty good, but we got to a point where you had all kinds of paths darting off and nothing was identified. Back in Breckenridge, we had the same problem for quite a while, and it made navigating really difficult. And John makes this comment, none of these trails are marked. Well, the time that he did that, there was a couple passing us, and the wife was in front, the husband was behind, and he said, "Oh, where are you guys going?" Obviously, by looking at our bike setup, they knew we were together, and they knew we were bike touring. And John says, "We're trying to get to the Adventure Cycling Association headquarters." He says, "Oh, I'll just take you there. Just follow us. We'll go right by there and we'll drop you off." We thought, wow, what a nice couple. So Tiffany had got further ahead than Kurt. He said, "Hey, I got to put some air in Tiffany's tire. We got to stop down at this bike station and put some air in the tire." So we get down there and we stop with them and help them get the air in the tire. The thing wouldn't stay on the valve stem. So he takes us over to the Adventure Cycling Association and drops it off and says, "Hey, if you guys need anything, give me a call. Here's my number." So we said, yeah, took it down and we went inside and had it, as you seen earlier in the video, a great time at the Adventure Cycling Association. Well, when we got done doing all the stuff that we wanted to do there, we tried to find lodging. We're in a town of almost 80,000 people, and there was nothing. And we were thinking we're going to have to take off and ride to try to get somewhere, and more than likely we would have had to stealth camp. John says, "You think I ought to call Kurt?" I said, "Hey, yeah." So he goes outside, he calls Kurt, comes back in and says, "Hey, he's going to let us stay there. We got to get over there within a couple hours, because they had somewhere they had to go." So we beat foot over to Kurt's daughter's apartment. She was moving out. The lease doesn't end up till the end of the month. There's just a little bit of furniture in here, but we got a place to stay. So Kurt and Tiffany are staying here. John and I are staying here. We're all sleeping on the floor, but the main thing is we got a place to stay for tonight. The story gets better. He's like, "You guys hungry?" And we kind of looked at what they were trying to do. They need to leave at 5:30. So it was like, "Hey, if we're going to eat, let's go now. That way you guys don't miss where you got to go." So we go to eat, and we're sitting there, we're talking, and Kurt, we're talking about, we got to do this, got to do that, got all this work to do because we're so close to being done, need to get airline tickets booked and stuff like that. And Kurt says, "If you guys need to spend another night, you guys can stay another night." That was exactly what we wanted to do. We wanted to spend 2 days here in Missoula so we could get all this stuff finalized, because once we take off across Idaho and Oregon, we are not going to have good access to the internet, and we know we needed it where we could get it, and we knew we needed to do it in Missoula. So uh, Kurt and Tiffany offered up the apartment for 2 nights for us, and now we're able to get all the stuff we wanted to get done. So, yeah, that's how today ended, and it's just amazing to me how we've been so fortunate and blessed to have people step up and help us when we really needed it the most, and it just happens time and time and time again. Okay, so there you have it. That's what happened for us today, and I'm just glad to share it with you.